animal types that can survive from decapitation. One of the interesting things about nature is that creatures have intense lives. It can last for a while when though the head is no longer on top of the body. This is inherently considered a utopia. But there are many animals that can live even though the organ that it considered to be the organ that controls all activities of the body has been lost. Today, let's explore a species with strange abilities and guess how much longer they will have this intense vitality. If you see this video of Wild Animal Life channel, don't forget to follow, like and share to support us even more. And now, let's start a trip to discover special names in the natural world and see how many of them can live when their heads are off their necks. A face that is very familiar and often appears in many places in your home. A species that can startle people despite its extremely small size. Those are cockroaches. Cockroaches are classified as a cold-blooded animal because they only need very little blood compared to their daily activities. You might be surprised to learn that cockroaches can live for a week or more without losing their head. This information is 100% true because its whole body does not have a network of blood vessels, so it does not need great pressure to circulate blood. In fact, cockroaches have an open circulatory system with much lower operating pressure. If a cockroach has lost its head, its neck will immediately reattach with a blood clot, but no bleeding control that takes place. In particular, the cockroach's brain does not take on the role of controlling the respiratory process, and the blood does not need to carry oxygen to feed the internal organs. So how does it breathe? A simple thing with cockroaches is that they absorb air directly into the tissues through small tubes above their body nodes, called trachea. The scientists added that the severed head of a cockroach can still live if given nutrients and in freezing conditions. However, cockroaches are not immortal, but can die from infection and starvation. This is what creates balance in the world of a species in nature. Another animal that is scary and causes terrible obsession for humans is a reptile, a snake. All snakes, including venomous snakes, even if the head is removed from the body, they still have the ability to inject venom into the human's body. A biology professor named David Benning at Missouri Southern University shared that cutting off the head of a snake does not immediately kill the snake because it only feels pain and then will try to defend itself without realizing that it has no body. He also added that a mammal will die as soon as the head leaves the neck. But with a healthy snake, it can live for a few minutes or even a few hours, and that is very normal. This ability also occurs in other reptiles. It is known that in lower animals, the nervous system that directs conditioned reflexes is located in its body. Therefore, the nervous system, including the brain, can function separately from the rest of the body. Therefore, even if the head is beheaded, when there is an impact, it can still cause a bite reflex. So be very careful. Even though a certain snake is dead, its head can still pump a lethal amount of venom into your body. It is better to stay away from it or watch it for an unconditioned reflexes that may occur when you touch a snake's head that has already left the body. The next species to be called out on this list of animals that can live longer than leeches is the fruit fly. Fruit flies are a complexity of flies used in scientific studies, especially biology. It is used to experiment and illustrate biological mutations in the form of chromosomal mutations. However, it does not stop there. In many experimental studies, after losing its head, it continues to live for a long period of time and perform complex activities as if it was commanded by the brain. Fruit flies can still fly, land, crawl, and even mate with a female fly as usual. The reason it is able to do that is thanks to an organ that functions like an extra brain located in its chest. This part takes over almost all the work that the main brain leaves behind, such as movement, circulation, and breathing. It is worth mentioning that when the eyes are gone, the fruit fly still responds to light as usual, based on the light sensitivity cells located on their bodies. In general, it is also a long-lived and long-living species, as evidenced by the fact that even without its head, fruit flies can still perform activities from the basics to the most complex. It seems that they still have difficulty in making decisions and have a rather complex brain that governs much of their daily behavior. They will not be impulsive and often quickly identify danger to find a way out. In the wild, not all animals anticipate threats to flee in time. One name that is listed on the list of the longest living species, even though the head is removed from the neck, is the flatworm. Scientists have discovered the miraculous regenerative ability of the flatworm planaria, growing a new head after being decapitated. This flatworm has a brain and 2 eyes on its head, usually lives on the bottom of rivers or lakes, and it has the ability to sense light. At first glance, the planaria flatworm is nothing special, but if you know its ability to regrow its head after it has been cut off, you will be amazed. A species only the size of a knuckle, but has extremely intense vitality. Just one cell of an adult flatworm can multiply into hundreds of separate individuals. It is this regenerative ability that has made planaria flatworms one of the leading names in the most classic regenerative abilities in the animal world. It was also conducted by other scientists and discovered that the flatworm planaria has a superhuman memory. They brought the flatworm planaria from the riverbed environment, all of which is completely dark, to feed in a place with light. Then they cut off the head of the flatworm, and when the new head of this planaria flatworm regrows, it is still looking for light places to feed. This behavior is surprising to scientists because it is not easy for a new head to remember past habits. Another character that deserves to be named is the frog. Frogs can also live and perform activities such as jumping and swimming in water, and some other activities, even though its head has been severed from the body. Frogs are able to do this because their nervous system is not completely dependent on the brain. Simultaneously, the unconditioned reflexes, when stimulated, then emitted electrical impulses are transmitted to the muscles, requiring the muscle to contract. This is the reason why some people are shocked to see the frog without its head, and it can still jump normally. This helps to explain that the frog can still live and perform activities despite missing an organ that seems so important to many animals in the wild. However, the loss of a part also makes these animals lose their defensive mechanisms and makes it more difficult in daily life. According to the process of development, adaptation, and evolution, animals have acquired new behaviors and changed habits, as well as reacted to external agents to adjust their behavior. Species that can overcome adversity or face the rigors of survival and recover organs quickly will be a great help to future research and applications. In addition to animals that are able to survive or live for a few more hours, even if their head is removed from the neck. There are some species, typically salamanders, that have the ability to regenerate and restore a number of body organs quite well. In particular, it is also possible to transplant organs from one individual to another. This species of salamander is being studied further by scientists to serve the treatment of defects in the human body. Hopefully, with all of the information provided about animals that are able to survive even if the head is removed from the neck, we look forward to your interest and support for our Animal World channel. For now, good day, and see you in the next video.